We are playing Minecraft video games. Welcome, y'all. An early stream. I know, very early. I don't know if we'll have any teammates, but that's what you gotta do. They have a weird middle shift today, where I have to go to work from like 10 a.m. to I don't know, 6 p.m. or something. So, yeah, what you gotta do. Oh my god, I got a legendary Hypixel XP bottle. Amazing. I'm gonna switch to this. Obviously, my stream deck doesn't. Dude, now it functions. My stream deck updates twice a day. Twice a day do I get a new update for my stream deck, and still it doesn't work properly. I don't know if I'm hacked or something. But here we go. Ooh, XP increase. Ooh. You woke up at 4:30 to queue Overwatch. That is one hell of a sentence, dude. Great stuff. Okay, which playlist are we gonna use this one? Yeah. Alright. Have fun with that. Who could we play with? Crazy, I thought at this time of day there would be zero teammates online. But in fact, there are a bunch of teammates online. They just ignore you. Oh wow, that is so sad. I think Manor like you got his 4K stars and then quit the game for good. But it didn't update on the leaderboard, so now he doesn't really officially have the 4K stars. No, that is sad. That is very sad. Oh god, poor guy. But he probably doesn't care about it. Oh, amazing. We actually have a teammate. A secret stranger called Game 31. Awesome stuff, bud. Same mission as all the other days. We're gonna focus on gripping the mouse and aiming. But I'm very intrigued to see if we're gonna have like any viewers. If we're gonna find an entirely new market of viewers at this time. Also, I'm starting to realize that queuing times are apparently interesting at this time of day. That's great. The night before this night, I mentioned how I only slept like 3 hours. This night, I slept 7.5. to 7:45, I would say, which is just slightly below the 8 hours that I want to go for. But I think in combination with the sleep amount from the night before, it still is somewhat little, little bit too little. Not enough, one might say. So I'm still a little tired. I think I'm gonna survive. But insane queuing times at this time of day. Apparently nobody plays this game at 7 a.m. But now we have it. Now it is just 6 more seconds until the game starts. If you can be my... What? What the hell? Oh, I got killed by the frickin' TNT. Okay, till the anonymous person has it. Oh, and he's good. What the hell? With the hits that guy gave us both at the same time, I did not think anyone would be able to wipe these people, especially after seeing how much he got comboed there. But obviously he gets both people. Obviously. Obviously. It would have been weird if you wouldn't have gotten both. My hands do not feel like they belong here. My hands feel like they want to be in bed. Yeah. Not sure if I should. Nine, what did I do wrong? Why do I fail my bridge? God. Yesterday I had a great chest workout, but there was one thing that, I don't know, I can't say bothered me, but was just a little thing, you know? Basically, I do incline dumbbell presses for the upper shoulder, the upper chest, and I have changed my angle at which I use my my bench. Because I figured my angle is a little too steep, you know. But the problem is now I don't really feel my upper chest anymore. Now I definitely feel it because it's sore as frick. But like within training I don't really feel it, which I don't necessarily enjoy. Aside from that, it was pretty good. But oh, especially, dude, that was my absolute highlight. I do angled push-ups in order to train lower chest. And those are getting better and better every single day because I used to be insanely good at push-ups. I know in my A levels, without even necessarily properly training for it specifically, we had to do. I mentioned this story so often, dude. But like, 60 seconds, the most push-ups you can do, and I think 50 or something was for the best grade possible, and I did 55 in 60 seconds, so that was crazy. And then I didn't do any push-ups in many, many years, and I think I didn't do push-ups properly in like, I don't know, 3 years or something. And now I started doing push-ups again a while ago, and like, we've been done better. And like I started doing them differently, because obviously I used to do push-ups just a normal way, proper form, but like just push, 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 push. I don't know how to describe it, just normal push-ups. Now that I specifically use them to train for lower chest, I actually do them much more controlled. I go down very slowly and then I go up a little faster, just like the normal motion for a proper workout. And that's an entirely new way of doing push-ups for me. But yeah, yesterday was the first day I really realized, or maybe the second day of chest, where I really realized, yo, okay, this is working out very well. Because I have to admit, after not doing push-ups for like 3 years altogether, and then starting all over again, it wasn't the easiest to do that. To have such a controlled motion, especially with 100 kilograms of body weight. Now it's starting to really be very... now it's starting to be really very easy, and I like that. It's not easy as in, oh no, now I can't do the push-ups anymore because they're starting to get too easy. Now I need, I don't know, weight on my back or something. But it's like I can do this with proper form, and it's amazing, and it's a lot of fun. That's very good. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Oh my god, why... Oh, so many random holds everywhere. No, we're not gonna do that. Today we've got back and shoulders, and back, I have to admit, I don't know. Um, yeah, that's that's cool. That's something I'm looking forward to. Um, back is like, I don't know. I've never done back. I didn't know you could train back outside of the gym. Started doing back like, I don't know, maybe a year ago, maybe 1.5 years ago. And I have to admit I never liked training back, so I just didn't do it. Started it, looked up some ways to train your back without machinery, and did that for like a month or two. Then I just stopped. Now I started training back again, like after my wave of sickness, where I couldn't train for like half a year. And it is working out, but I still don't like back. It's, I don't know. I'm very much in the experimentation phase because there are a lot of back exercises that I do that do strain my lower back a bunch, even if they're not targeting it, just because I have to put my body into a position where the lower back has to hold a lot of weight. And I feel like that is a recipe for disaster. I feel like that might not be great. So, yeah, I've considered like, I don't know, my bench I have for frickin', I don't know what it's called. It's too early to think of English words, but the freaking bench I have for working out, where you lay on it and then you press weight upwards. that, that bench. I've considered just, obviously you can angle that. I considered just angling that and getting on it with my with my with my stomach towards the bench. I need 11 more gold. Whatever. With my stomach towards the bench, and then I could rest my lower back if it's not the muscle group I want to target, and focus on the back part that I actually want to target. I'm unsure if this works, but I feel like it should work, so I'm gonna try that today. That way I could use much more weight without having to worry about my lower back. And we've only got 39 blocks. Now we've got 42. I think that's better. 42 is good. Oh my god, that is not good, however. I think my fingers don't know they have to do this freaking motion yet. This little boop, 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 boop. This little butterfly motion. Oh. My fingers have not figured out yet that they are playing the video game. Yeah, I don't know why he just gave up mid-fight, but I like it very much. Oh, I did not... I shouldn't have looked away, but I was surprised by the song that was playing. I did not expect that song to be in that mix. Don't feel like it fits in there, but it's fine. So I like it. Haven't listened to it in a while. I missed the ladder. Oh, red is here too. You changed my mind, my vision blind. Okay, I thought these people were just good, but in fact they're not. In fact, these people just blindly, in blind rage and anger, rush towards us both, not even paying attention to the other side. So these are just some randoms who are too stupid to play the game strategically. They just really didn't want us to be in the game anymore. But red secretly passed. And we don't have a trap, I don't think. I don't know why he would turn around, but nice. So. Go so crazy for you. Yeah, what? Am I going crazy? I keep hearing a wool noise, but I can't seem to locate where it comes from. Yesterday I watched a movie together with my girlfriend. It was a pretty good movie. It was a kids movie, to be fair, but still was pretty entertaining. But it was a German movie, so not gonna know it. Wait, is this a... Nah, okay. I thought this was a red guy. He died too, right? Okay, not because of me, but he did die. He just kept trying to self-destruct and jump me, I don't know why. Maybe I just gotta know how long has this been going on? Shady. Okay, but at least we have that sort of information now. We know now that Pink is not interested in actual fights. All Pink wants to do is jump in the void and kill you in the process, so we will not take fights against Pink, but instead we are going to pass him. Hello. How you doing? Unless I have a trap. Nice, we already got a storm. I don't believe we're gonna get the weekly file kill quest. That is more than unlikely. In order to get the weekly, we would need to get like a little less than 50 in just like... I can see who file kills this game. In just like... not the most amount of time, in 1.5 hours. And that is like impossible for me personally. I'm pretty sure Tiltings is gonna get that in the time we're gonna play, but like... But I personally can't do that. Yeah, he's just gonna jump off first. Yeah. The island is already there. Been going on. Okay, he's dead. Now we need like 44. I think the time to change. $44 in 1 hour and 6 minutes. Don't even know what my... Don't even know what my hourly pace is, but I'm pretty sure my hourly pace is below 40. Plus, right now, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't hit my average hourly pace. In the sky, and now you're not coming down. Ugh. I always want you. What day is today, by the way? That's something I'm asking myself. Interesting, I didn't even notice that. Old game, basically. That's not gonna be an issue for this guy, huh? I feel like right now I have a little bit of a clicking problem. I do catch myself not really clicking sometimes. What? Okay, could be lag, you know. Could very well be lag. And I miss you. And now I wonder if I could fall into the sky. Would pass me by 1,000 miles if I could just see you. Wait, what? I'm gonna get a final kill. I don't know if that hit necessarily. I don't know if that sheet is for sale, but recently, oh my god, he's already saving him. But recently, I've had this so often that people are F3S'ing to be safe by their teammate. But this is not happening for you. We're not gonna do that. Dude, what the hell? This happens so often recently. So often do we see people just F3S'ing in the void. And there you see what the strat behind that is. They're just waiting for their teammate to save him with water. Did you see that? The moment the water was let down, he immediately started swimming up like a little, I don't know what. Like a frickin' rat. These people are actually a pest to this game, dude. Frickin' pest. Just making a way through the crowd. Dum dum. Hello. Wow. He just did not want to give his life to me. He wanted to give teammate the foul kill. And Frank, what? I'm not even gonna pronounce that. I'm not even gonna say that out loud. Wow, he actually ended up killing me. I didn't think that. I was not prepared for that. I think that was a good try. I'm not necessarily sad about what happened there. It was well done. Don't need something new. I'm afraid of what I'm risking if I follow you. Maybe it's time to bring back some diamonds. Especially seeing as we don't have P2 yet. Do I blink longer recently, or is it just because I'm tired, or what's happening? Recently I've been blinking and all of a sudden the game situation is a whole nother. Yesterday, I'm on a bridge, I blink, all of a sudden I'm in the void and I don't even realize it. Crazy stuff's happening. Whoa, he had stuff on him. Where are you now, Green? Don't have a fireball, so please don't go on that bridge. Oh, that was too high, wasn't it? It wasn't. He's got a TNT with him. Does he know that yellow bed doesn't exist anymore? Oh my god, and I don't have ladders. Yeah, I'm gonna use the TNT to jump up. And goodbye. Ah, he got a back hit, otherwise I would have been even cleaner. Doesn't matter, your TNT helps me. I can't. Please do not bother. Reach my stream deck. Let's not play. Told me to go and then you put your hands on me. Dude, I see truly ugly faces on my YouTube here. What the hell? Oh, I'm not gonna mention who I saw. But I scrolled down and the name started being visible. I'll be right back. Here we go, now the game is starting. In like 15 seconds. Awesome. Here we go. No one ever said it'd be this hard. Okay, here we go. Last time I played against Tiltings was on this map. I don't remember it in good faith. Was not great. Blue again. Are those the cheaters we had last game? Oh, but apparently they don't even hate us. Apparently they hate Grey. Who's... Okay, pink, grey and blue it looks like. But I still have to admit I'm the least worried I could be. Like, I have pretty much the optimal teammate for this situation. Oh, blue is here. Teammate was not attentive enough. Oh, and Tiltings died. Well. Oh, I think this is just Tiltings getting sniped. For once, I'm not the popular guy in the party. For once, my teammates are the ones getting sniped. So we can't stop, and we won't stop. On the night. I like this map, I'm looking forward to it. The map we had just now where we died, I don't know. It's like, it's a map. I can't say that I like it, it's... It always makes me nervous. I don't know why. There are many, I don't know what this language is supposed to be. I'll just say many Brazilian comments under these videos. And one says, Eta descalco daixa or like KKK. What? Does he like KKK? Oh, man. Alright, here we go. Oh, I think my fingers might be angled incorrectly. I think they're arching too much. That might be why we're not clicking the usual way. Well, that's not a great... Nice, nice, very good. Wowie, and we can't stop. Oh, I ran out of blocks. Frick. I don't know which team we are. I can't even see how he's doing it. And blue is here too. You know, it's really embarrassing. Last game, I think the cheaters said something like, oh, we're better than you, tiltings and stuff. But isn't that super embarrassing? Do I just not understand the culture of these people? Is that, at least to my definition, if I was installing a cheat program and then sniping someone, just hunting them in-game, targeting them, and then killing them with cheats, would that be something I could be proud of and, like, associate my name with? Just, I don't know. I don't feel like that's something you can be proud of. I feel like that's quite the loser behavior. I don't think anyone can do that and be like, ho ho ho, dude. I showed him who's boss as I installed these cheat clients and just hunted him down, huh? It's like, dude, that's like bringing a gun to a boxing match and then just shooting your opponent in the head and being like, oh, I'm the much better boxer than you, huh? Everyone knows it. I always knew. Now everyone knows. L, teabag, teabag, teabag. I don't think anyone would be cheering for that. I think everyone would just consider you to be a huge, well, yeah, loser. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. To me, that's quite embarrassing behavior. To me, that's like, I don't know. Like, I don't understand many of these things. I also don't understand cheating in general. But, like, some people apparently feel better if they cheat or something that they ego, which, same reason. Like, I don't know how you can feel great with your ego if you beat people just using a cheat program. I don't quite understand how that's positive for your ego. I feel like that would more be negative for your ego, wouldn't it? Like, the only way you can beat people is using a cheat program. Like, you're not skilled enough to do it otherwise. At least to me, that doesn't sound like it helps your ego. But okay, if it helps people's egos, hmm, I don't know. Hmm, maybe I just don't understand it. maybe there's something to it. Yeah, too, what I wanted to say, if your goal is just to, I don't know, annoy someone or break someone's win streak or something, then maybe that is something I personally wouldn't do and I think is still pretty bad, but that is at least more logical, maybe. Did I read what message? No, I don't think so. Oh, okay. Was who told you that? What? Game 31 told you that? Wait, is he muted? Okay, I can do that. Oh, let me be right back here. Don't like those maps anyway. Are there other maps that I could feel? It's very sweaty. Feel something going worth going for. Lighthouse is also kind of too sweaty. Should I still go for it? Why not? Yeah, book. Many maps I like I got rid of just because they're too sweaty. Why did I get rid of it? Yeah, I think Vigilante was just completely cheater infested. Terrorist is a great map. Solace, I don't even remember anymore. What, Solace? Gotta check that one out. Oh, okay. Yeah, these maps I like the most, I have to admit. Oh, oh, some great maps. Right. Oh, Solace rings a bell in my head, but I can't pinpoint it. Solace battle. Map. Hello. Uh, Epic 2v1 fight. 2v 1v1 fight. What? A 2v1. Earlier when I tried to ask him should we 2v2 people, I also always said 2v1. What the hell? That's crazy. Got a WhatsApp message? Okay, one sec. I'll have to check if the door is closed because my girlfriend is paranoid. To be closed. Why don't you come on over? Oh, baby. The cat was laying on my girlfriend's desk and just staring against the the um the I don't know, against the not see-through window because a piece of cloth is in front of it, but it's not a curtain, but instead something you roll down. Um, so I opened the roll down thing slightly so the cat can see outside. Now she's just watching dead flies, so I'd have fun watching dead flies then. If that's more interesting than the outside world. Nice. Not nice. Oh wow, that's what you're using a pearl for? You're gonna get yourself killed now? Wow, that's what you're using a pearl for? Crazy stuff. Wait, he isn't muted. I don't get it. Why? Oh, you saw none of it. Oh, well. He beat the guy using pearls. That welcome. I think a playlist changes. Gonna change here. Oh, recently. Recently. Starting yesterday. They started changing my dopamine habits. It's a lot of fun. No, by definition, it's not fun, but for some reason, it is somewhat fun. It's weird. Maybe I'm a weird person. But I realized I have so many cheap dopamine sources in my day-to-day life. Really wasn't fun anymore. A lot of negative stuff happened because of it. And I've just changed that. Now I'm much more attentive. Now I'm, yeah, enjoying stuff more. Not much I can tell you about. There's just many things our parents couldn't tell us because they never experienced it for themselves. And I kind of hope that I can teach my kids something in that regard. But the thing is, technology is getting so advanced in such a small period of time that I don't even know if the stuff that I learn in my life is even gonna be of any value to my children anymore. Like, before a certain point in history, which wasn't all too far away in time, like, was quite recent, every single generation had pretty much the same life. Your grandfather had exactly the same life as your grandson. Everything was just always the way it was. And all of a sudden, everything starts being so different all of the time. This might also, just my personal theory, but this might also add to the generational conflicts and stuff. Just people's life is just much different from their ancestors' lives and from their older family members and younger family members' lives. Yeah, but that also makes it so all of the experience I collect, I'm gonna cut off my balls, for example, doing that, yes, isn't gonna be of too much value for my kids anymore, or for my grandkids. And, my parents also didn't have as valuable information for me because of this. Sad. I think there are still some basic things, some of the basics that still, like, can be passed on. But many very specific things that are super specific to the current technology and current advances, those can't really fall under this principle. For example, I'm pretty sure this was already a thing before, but like, just in a much... What? I wish there wouldn't have been a block behind him, like this little stone thing. Otherwise, that would have been such a good play. I think this dopamine thing was already a thing in some quantity, probably, when my parents were still young and when they collected all their life experience. But like, the situation is so different now that obviously my parents couldn't have prepared me. Like all of the experiences I had to collect for myself. And obviously this is not necessarily a bad thing. Like I made it. I have collected the experience. But there are many people that are probably just not gonna do so, right? Like some people are just gonna have a hard time figuring out stuff. I also have a hard time figuring out stuff. But sometimes I do figure out random things. Dude, this guy is super annoying. It's not really useful to think in terms of individual bits of information, what you want to pass on as critical thinking and stuff, that they can figure out stuff by themselves. Yeah, I agree to that. But for example, my parents didn't pass it on to me. You know? My parents didn't teach me critical thinking or anything. Which I think is quite apparent. I think you have noticed that in the past when interacting with me. Okay, cool. This defense, you wouldn't believe it, but this defense is actually very effective. Like, this defense makes it harder to block in. Crazy. I think... yeah, whatever. Thank you, Zaz, for the analysis. Very nice of you. Here we go. The thing is, some form of critical thinking I seemed to have picked up on, but I can't quite grab it, and it's not really useful in my day-to-day life. I don't know if it's necessarily micro sleeps, but could very well be, obviously. Like, I feel like only a specific sort of critical thinking is what I'm lacking. Because in other ways, I do find myself doing something that could qualify as critical thinking quite a lot. And quite more than other people I'm around. I can't quite grab it, so I fear to say it for the lack of quality of what I would say. So I will think about it a little. But yeah, that's something that's actually a little weird. I thought, I don't know, I didn't think any of it after a bit. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm blinking longer now. That, for example, is a good example of what I lack. How would I describe it? There's something. Okay, I feel like I am much too passive about things that happen to myself. Let's start the argument with saying that. Because I've noticed that I'm not in general necessarily a forgetful person. Like, I do forget some stuff, sure, but 99% of my forgetfulness is because I don't think about stuff that happens to myself. Like, I go through my day-to-day life, and I'm just super passive about everything. Like, everything just happens to me, and I'm like, oh, okay. In my head, I'm always, like, taken up by other thoughts, and I'm not actually, like, thinking about what I do there in the moment. To give you an example, yesterday, for example, I had to remember 3 different things I had to do at work. I was looking at chat. 3 different things I had to do at work. Yeah, you never wondered why people had more reach. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I am in situations, and I'm just passive about them. And even if something bothers me, I'm like, ah, sad. Can't change it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, yesterday at work, I had to remember 3 different things. And the problem is, I'm not there in the moment, but instead, in my head, I'm taken up by like 10 million things that are not the work itself. But if I actually take at least 5 minutes per day thinking about anything, I have to admit, then it immediately changes. Like the moment I think about what I do there, all of the memory immediately springs into my head. I don't know how I can describe that best, but like, my usual modus operandi, I don't think that exists in English, I embarrass myself. But the usual way I handle this is like I go to work, and on autopilot, I just do the entire work, and I try to use my brain as little as possible, because inside of my brain, instead what I do is I have to deal with my feelings, I have to deal with my depression and anxiety. I'm constantly thinking about stuff that I'm currently addicted to, like, I don't know, producing YouTube videos or playing BedWars or something. And that makes it so I cannot remember anything that has to do with what I'm actually doing in the moment. But if I even just for 5 minutes at work, I'm just like, oh, okay, wait, I'm at work right now. Is there anything I should think about right now? If that thought happens even once, everything springs into my head. And that's what I did yesterday, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, I don't even have to write down the stuff I have to think of, because it just springs into my head. Like, literally my thought was, I'm at work. Is there something I could have to remember? And all of a sudden, oh yeah, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that. Boom. Like, the moment I stop being passive and the moment I start actually thinking about the situation I'm inside of, I have memory, which is an interesting observation. So yeah. He didn't have a pearl, good. So yeah, yesterday I came up with this strategy where whenever my surroundings change, like whenever I, for example, now I'm at work, now I'm at home, now I'm interacting with my girlfriend, now I'm interacting with my mother. Whenever something changes in whatever I'm doing right now, just for a second I have to think to myself, okay, is there anything I should use my brain for right now? And then immediately all the memory I need is springing into my head, which is very useful. So I feel like that, my lacks in critical thinking are mapped out. But now I'm trying to map out where in my day-to-day life I do have critical thinking. Let me think about that for a second. In BedWars, the thing is, what? You can just jump over there? Oh, bet gone. Unless we have army? No, we don't. Okay, I hope their bed is broken. Awesome, awesome. Awesome. I don't know, I feel like in Bed Wars, I can do it too. Like, it is a thing. I once did it. I once paid attention to strategy, and all of a sudden my average win streak went up from 3 to 30, so that was a thing. And I feel like I'm also going to make use of that. Like, I actually started a proper training thing. I'm gonna train some mechanics now, and then I'll go back to strategy, and I think then it is achieved. the foundation is laid for proper BedWars. Like currently I feel like it is in my hands to be good or bad at the video game. Currently it's just, okay, if I have enough focus, if I have enough concentration, I can play well. And if I don't, I just don't play well. And I can decide which one I want to pick. And if I'm exhausted, then I just don't pick being good at the video game because it's quite exhaustive. Yes, I agree to that. That's a problem. Like, in order to mechanically and obviously strategically excel at the game, you have to actually focus. And I have discovered this focus. I know how it works, I've done it myself. But as I said, it's pretty exhausting, so I don't always do it. Sometimes I choose just not being good at the video game and mechanics and strategy because it's just too exhausting to do so. Sometimes I just want to chill and walk around in the game. Like right now, for example. Right now it's much more chill to just talk. Thank you, Zaz, thank you, Zaz, for banning. Nice. Well done. Yeah, that's a thing. There is some, to get back to that, there is some critical thinking that I feel like I would call myself quite good at, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I would say a good way, is he just gonna sneak there now and not do anything? Yeah. I think a good way to describe this. Could you not? Okay. Within certain exclusive topics, I by default think critically, I would say. Now let me think about what those topics are. There's a certain field of... No, okay, let's tackle this another way. Very hard to describe. Got 16 diamonds now. Maybe... There are a couple topics, including social sciences and certain debates about certain topics, where by default, if I myself have a belief towards one side, then I do question that belief very thoroughly. And whenever I get to learn any information about that, I also question that information to a much greater extent than I would do in my everyday life. I would like to make the thesis that if something happens to me, and it happens to be my environment slash the moment I am in, then I don't question it at all. But if it just happens to be a concept that I think about, then I critically think about it. I would like to make that theory, but I don't know if it's correct. So I'm thinking about examples right now, if that is actually true. Because just from my personal feeling I have right now, I feel like that sounds like a thing I can identify myself with. I feel like the problem isn't the critical thinking itself. The problem is just that there's a certain spectrum of activity in which it is deactivated for me by default. And this certain spectrum of activity appears to be whenever I am in situations that are happening to myself? Question mark? Hmm. That's a good question. Because I feel like whenever I do stuff in my everyday life, even if it's not working out too well, my default is just, oh, well, okay, and just passively running with it. But once I get into the situation where I actually think about what I'm doing there, I do think about it critically. Hmm. Didn't get him. Oh, that's actually very interesting. I hear, no, I can't get there. Awesome. If that would to prove correctly, then that would reveal a lot about how I handle things, and I think it would help me in my daily life. I would like to hear those, Sass. I'm looking forward to them. Hmm. Hmm. Ah. Yeah, there's one above us. And I think you made what? Awesome. I don't know if teammate needs help, but I don't feel like he does. problem is what makes all of this even more complex is that it's not a general rule to be made. Even if a lot of things would support the theory I just had. Sadly, I'm, as a human being, more complex than just to be explained by this one theory. Like, the theory would always just be an approximation of the actual behavior. It could very well be that, like, 70% of the behavior fits into this theory, but like 30% doesn't fit it at all. Oh, you are my— what? I thought you were going for blue. And there's also a blue final kill left. I don't know what's going on. Ah, never mind. No, they're not left anymore. Hey, does my stream deck not work? It's updating twice a day. Someone, I can do it myself. It's okay. Like, what makes this even harder is, like, especially once you get into the mentally troubled sort of department, it gets more and more erratic. They have many behaviors and many thought patterns inside of me that are just directed by depression and by, I don't know what, by mental disturbances, which makes it even more hard, I feel like, to just assume some sort of rule. I feel like I also have a problem with understanding systems and their interactions between each other, because oftentimes I find myself trying to set a certain rule and just blindly following that rule. And I feel like if that is the entire concept, then that rule is just a little dot here, and I'm trying to, I don't know, I'm trying to religiously follow that one rule and just ignore all of the other surface of what actually makes up the topic. And I think that is because of a lack of understanding the whole topic, because I think if you would understand more about what you are doing there, then you would probably see something wrong with that, maybe. Mm. Whoop. Hey, I read a very interesting message, Yellow. You can't just kill me. Oh, you saw none of that. Well, Yellow just killed me while I was reading a message. Not nice. And now he's gone. I don't know if he's still there. Dude, so many bots. Thank you for banning Zaz. Oh, what? Thing is, that sounds like... I know that is me, I can identify with that statement. But it sounds like an interesting behavior, and I would like to understand why it is. And what to do against it. Like, my initial thought when I hear that description, that accurate description of what I do, is like, if I had to analyze that just on the fly, I would assume that I gather a minimal amount of information, and then I immediately make up a rule based on the little information I have. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna follow this rule now. Guess that has to be it. And then I just don't do anything else anymore. And refuse to think beyond the rule. When instead the correct thing to do would probably be to keep gathering more and more information. And whenever you gather a new piece of information or correct an old piece of information that ended up not being correct, then all of that goes into a bigger system, a bigger model that uses those information, those pieces of information, in order to help you make an estimation of what to do in what circumstance. Like, it's less than a few lines of code that a program just follows. Non-IT expert here, by the way. But it's more like, maybe, I don't know if artificial intelligence works like this, but the way I assume artificial intelligence to work like is, give it 10 pieces of information. Oh, that was great. And based on that, it is forming some sort of new thought, I guess. So instead of following 2 lines of code, I get 2 pieces of information and use those to make a decision that don't necessarily follows any set rule. That is what I would say just on the fly. The SVGC says, even if something was the correct thing to do, once you don't know if it's always going to be the case, you have to figure out why it was correct and figure out if that stands in the future instances. Yeah. Use brain to do some processing there. Yeah, I feel like what you said goes towards developing a better and better understanding of an approximation to what's quote-unquote the truth. Like, I feel like what you said is a little bit of a description on how to get closer to for example, if you have the goal of figuring out how PvP works, for example, then what you said is the way to work yourself towards the understanding of how PvP works. Figuring out what worked, figuring out why that worked, and understanding if you can reproduce that again in order to transform your PvP encounters in a way for them to be more successful on average, I guess. That is how I would interpret what you said. And I think the way this makes sense in the context of what I said is what you are indirectly trying to say here is that within this process towards evolving towards the most optimal play to keep with our example here, I just randomly stop somewhere in the middle towards the start, whatever, and just refuse to continue with the development towards the desired goal. Which then again means that you're also saying that the lack of critical thinking you see inside of me is pretty much exactly that, right? Like, the definition of critical thinking that you see me lack is basically actions I perform that I don't analyze those for what you just said in that message, for does this work, how does it work, and if it works in some capacity, can I reproduce it? Like, this process of evolving into a better and better system of what you do in order to get better and better results out of it. That process, which is based on critical thinking of analyzing your situation, is something I don't do. Things go wrong and you don't get pissed enough, and even if you do get pissed, you don't take steps to actually prevent it from happening again. That's the easier way to say it. Getting pissed is objectively necessary, but it's what drives you. Yeah, so yeah. I see. And I like what you say, I have to admit. Very much like what you say. There's many ways to achieve this. For example, out of a nerd feeling that you can't describe, just a need for getting better and better, or because you get pissed because you're not good enough, or because you just find it fun to optimize stuff. For example, it would be stupid to assume that I can analyze someone like Technoblade just off of some videos, but I feel like he just, to me personally, was someone who really enjoyed getting better at stuff and optimizing stuff to get better results. He never felt like someone who got pissed if he wasn't good enough necessarily. At least he didn't show that in the videos that I watched, but instead he gave me the feeling of, okay, he just likes to find creative ways and find smart ways to get better than the competition, maybe. And for ZazVGC, it's like, dude, I'm not good enough yet. I'm so pissed. I have to get even better. I apparently have an incredible tool, which is thousands of hours of your own gameplay recorded and Hypixel replay view, and you don't use them. Okay, now we are getting into the territory of media I can use for this critically thinking process of improvement. I see. Oh, thank you, Vat. Very nice of you. Thank you very much. Now, I'm trying to do a little bit of a transfer from this example of BedWars to the example of, like, to just a broader way to formulate that. Because obviously that's not just a problem I have in BedWars, I would assume. 1, 2... No. Whoop. That, please do slash my... I know that PvP encounter was horrific to watch. But I feel like it was still great in other ways. So please do slash market TNT. Wait, maybe I want to go there, so let's get more blocks. So basically, apparently I am lacking something that drives me to gradually improve at things in my daily life. But I feel like that for other things doesn't work. For example, when it comes to my relationship, every single day I'm in this relationship, I'm looking for ways to improve it. It's not a bad relationship, I would say. Like, I really enjoy being in this relationship. I really like my partner. But still, every day I look for ways to improve things. So I would say, again, this is a great example. It's not a general rule that I don't do it. I just don't do it in certain fields. In some fields I do it, in some fields I do it to a certain degree. It's not just an on-off switch. Yeah, don't answer that in chat, man. Very nice of you. Ah, great. I don't think it necessarily is necessary for me to... I should void. I think a blue person passed me. Yeah, there he is. I don't think it necessarily makes sense to go through every single thing that I have in my life and to analyze to which extent I use this critical thinking and where do I not use it at all and stuff. I think that would be interesting if you want to identify topics in your life where you still have to improve. In that case, it's kind of interesting. But I personally would say that it makes sense to say you should just incorporate that into pretty much all of your aspects in your life. Maybe with some exceptions that I don't have in mind right now, but like, I think your default go-to thing, your default theory of mind should just be... Aqua said Aqua. Your default theory of mind should just be, I'm in a situation. Is my situation... How can I improve the situation? I was about to say, is my situation perfect? Obviously, I don't know if the situation is perfect. How would I know? But like, the default should be trying to improve inside of your situation. And in that context, I don't think you necessarily need to go through all of your life and be like, okay, in this regard, I already do it to this extent, but in this regard, I don't do it, but here I do. If you just by default get into a mindset of always trying to improve in what you do, then that should be, at least for this, already, yeah, that should be good. No! Frickin' hell. Very hungry. Rare instance where you make a statement that doesn't want to make me whip my hair out. Lol. I've already... yeah, okay. I was about to say I've already reached the end. I should not keep going beyond this point because I'm already 4 minutes overdue. Let me just think about if there's anything left for me that I would like to say, because this is quite interesting. Also, we've reached 12 FKDR, which is more than my weekly. That's good. Was my goal. Did I also do slash market takeout for blue? Slash market takeout for blue? I hope I captured every clip I wanted to capture now. Yeah. Yeah. But I think a little multiple things were kind of mixed up here. At the start, I think I started off with the whole memory thing. And I don't think that whole memory thing is necessarily connected to this. Like, um, whenever the situation I'm in changes even slightly, to just take a moment and think about the situation in order to gather memories, I feel like that automatically also happens when you think about the situation as in how can I improve it. But obviously it's not the same situation, not the same goal here. It just plays into each other. One thing is I want to gradually improve at everything I do, and the other thing is I want to have any sort of memory capacity. Yeah. See, that is another thing where I feel like my critical thinking happens, for example, in working out. Because my workout plan has changed pretty much every single week for the past couple of years. When I first started working out for the first, like, I don't know, 6-7 years of when I worked out, workouts were also nothing I ever thought about or critically thought about or changed. But I have found that that is not a great thing. And now what I do is every single time I work out, I analyze my workout and I'm like, okay, here I can make improvements. That is something I could improve. I do frequent research on, in this regard, that is optimal, or this exercise I can make more optimal with this, or maybe the angle on, I don't know, my arm in this specific exercise could be more optimal for a smaller chance of injury or something. In that regard, for example, I would feel like that might be my most critically thought about department, I would say. And recently, I would say for the past like half a year to a year, my health is also something I wouldn't say I critically think about as much as my workout, but I also critically think about a lot. That is not the correct room, what the hell. Recently, I've also been pretty much weekly thinking about stuff connected to my health. How can I improve my mental health? How can I improve my physical health? How can I improve my sleep quality? How can I improve my sleep length? A lot of, I don't know, nutrient stuff. So that's also something I'm already gradually improving. Yeah, those just go to see that, or that just goes to say that I have a bunch of things where I do this, a bunch of things where I do it to different extents, and some things where I don't do it at all. Interesting topic. Now I have something to think about at work. Now I've got something, as long as I at least once think about, oh, I'm at work. Do I have some memories I need to intake? That is definitely going to be my main thing I'll be thinking about at work today. Alright. Yeah, was a lot of fun. Very fun stream. I'm looking forward to ZasVGC taking apart everything I said in my DMs now. And yeah, have yourself a great rest of your day. Go ahead and follow the Twitch channel and I don't know, the links. I don't assume anyone to be watching this who hasn't done this, but links and subscribe for free. Ha ha ha. Have yourself a great rest of the day or night. Wonderful rest of the day or night. And goodbye. Now we can rate someone. Let's see who is in. Okay. Used to be the only BedWars. Take you. What? That the name? With an A. Here we go. Start wait. 3 viewers ready, 4 viewers ready. Oh, 4 viewers ready in 4 seconds. That's it.